everybody, and welcome to another episode of Messi Co. I'm Ashley here as always with my incredible co-host Gian, and this is our first episode post new stadium opening. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. Excited to talk some Inter Miami. Sorry, guys, that we're a little bit late, a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are here to talk about the new stadium opening that was insane, insane. Ashley was there, so she's going to give you some really cool thoughts on that. But I'm excited. And it's, okay, whatever. We didn't win, but still, it was a fun game. It was a good game. There's things we got to talk about today, but I'm doing great. It is a beautiful, beautiful Monday afternoon. The sun is out. I love it. Artemis is on the way to the moon. And I, as a space nerd, am excited about that. I think now, actually, they're supposed to be going live soon. So, guys, let's talk some Inter Miami so I can see the other side of the moon. It's important for.
No, I feel that honestly, that is really sick that that's happening. I've been trying
Yeah.
to keep up. Obviously, we have some friends on already. Seeing Aloha. Good evening. How we doing, guys? Apologies also if I'm having a little bit of delay, a little bit of internet issues, but we're gonna do our best. Yeah, I was at the match on Saturday, and there's so many things to talk about. Um, it was something to behold because I was there from minute one at the. Yep, thank you. Shout out. I got to very luckily was credentialed. There's obviously a little bit of controversy surrounding who got credentialed and who was able to go to the game. I was lucky enough that I was able to sit in the press box. I got to go to the ribbon cutting. I had to get to the stadium very early to get parking, which is nothing I can talk about. But I
That was what I
literally
was worried about. How was that? Wait, how was the parking situation? How was the
well,
traffic situation?
the game was at 8 and I got there at 3:10. So it was fine
Yeah.
getting there. Leaving and I stayed after to go to the press conference with Javier Mascherano and so I waited a little to leave and it still did take me a little over an hour to get out of the complex. But look, stadiums are like that in general. I mean, I think it'll get better over time, but anytime you go somewhere and there's, 20, 30,000 people within 1 acre, like that's how it's difficult to leave. Um, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, let's talk about the whole entire stadium and getting there. Like I said, I got there early for the ribbon cutting. And walking in there, it was really surreal. It's huge. The stadium is huge. It's beautiful. It was my first time really seeing it in person. The outside is amazing. The inside, like when you walk and you see the actual pitch and you see the stands around and there's like for each section, it's like a really wide opening to go in and like the landing to see it and so you see the whole field and it's really spectacular and so it was amazing to see. uh let's show the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, I want to show the ribbon cutting. I think that was pretty cool. And you had like a really, really good vantage point, right? Like that
Yeah.
looked really neat. So let's go in and go to a little quick video here of the ribbon cutting.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I noticed those were safety scissors as well with the rounded ends. So make sure nobody gets hurt. No running with sharp scissors down the stairs. But that was really neat, really cool. I don't know. How do you feel about the ribbon cutting? I didn't know that they were going to do that. Honestly, I thought that was a pretty cool concept to do that. But
Yeah,
it looked like so much fun. Honestly.
it was really cool. It was really cool. I spent most of the day and evening with our good friend Xavier Guerrero from Lemon City Live, Javi as we call him, really good friend. We were kind of going around everything together, and yeah, it was La Familia was there before the ribbon cutting, and they I thought it was really cool that they had all the fans line up, the ones who were really day ones, and had the music playing, and The energy was great, and then they kicked off, or they cut the ribbon, and it was really, really cool, and it was really special.
Yeah, I
No
had
doubt
spoken
it
with
was
my
special.
friend that was there from Vice City, from the supporter section, and they were I mean, I think they got there like around 10 or 11 a.m. to start setting up all the
Oh,
making
wow.
sure all the stuff was set up around the putting the banners, getting the tifo stuff ready, getting the barbecue going, and I thought it was pretty cool that everybody got. I mean, it looks for a first time stadium that the fans and the supporters group specifically was able to get everything like looking good. It looked good inside. All of the different banners for the supporter section, it looked neat, and I thought that they did a good job. I mean, you can hear them
Mhm.
from at least through the television. I wasn't there in person. You were there. I didn't make it this time. I'll make it to the next one, but it sounded. I could hear them singing, and that's one thing I wanted to ask you too. Like,
Yeah.
how is the sound inside
Mhm.
the stadium when you with the supporter section with the crowd? Did it feel more amplified like in
Yeah.
comparison to Chase Stadium?
It was loud. It was really, really loud. In the press box, they opened a guy opened a window, which was great because we got to really hear everything. But yeah, I mean, the stadium was loud. It felt so full. It felt big, and like the pink and black and white everywhere was awesome. The pre-match sort of like minutes before when they started showing the starting lineup and having they showed a video of, the making of Inter Miami and how it started as just like an idea, a love from the Moss brothers and from Beckham, and how they started with a vision. They showed the players who were like the first players to ever play for Inter Miami. Like, this was really obviously the very beginning. It was players like Rodolfo Pizarro, Matias Pellegrini, Go Gonzalo Higuain, and so it was really cool how they kind of had it be like a look through history, and then obviously they announced Messi, and you see the players come in, and you win the Supporters Shield, you win the Leagues Cup, the Supporters Shield, then the MLS Cup, and it was really awesome. The screens are huge. They had fireworks. They had all this really, really cool
We got
stuff.
video. Let's put up
Yeah,
another video so that we can
yeah.
see here. Wait, that's not the one. I'll show that one after. I wanted to show this one. That
Yeah.
honestly is just I mean, it's that sent
Gives you
chills
chills,
down
right?
my spine. Like that looked it honestly feels like it has a European
Yeah,
football vibe. It really does. I mean, it's a
yeah,
stadium built for football. It's not a baseball stadium or an American football stadium that's being used to play football. Like this is actually made for football, for soccer. Like this I mean, it just
yeah,
it feels it looks it. I just honestly can't wait to be their next game, and it just looks honestly incredible. I think they did an amazing job with it. There are things that obviously you I mean, I've seen it on social media. Ash, you even mentioned it to me. There are things that are obviously not ready yet, right? There are
yeah,
things that like supplies that aren't there, stands that aren't ready to serve the fans. Like there's things that are they're taking time, but other than that, like to meet this deadline and to be able to put this I mean, quite a show from what we've seen all over the networks and we were in such a short amount of time. Like I think that it was just incredible. Oh,
yeah,
and says, I'm in upstate New York. My son, grandson, and daughter in law and I flew down 2024 for a game. So much fun. Friends of theirs went down there this last weekend for the first game. So jealous. Oh, yeah, no,
yeah,
no, believe me. Ashley's right here. She went in. I'm jealous of her. So I can understand that. We are planning a trip sometime this year to get down there. We have World Cup tickets for Philly in July, and then hopefully we can get down there this fall. Oh, you have to. If you have the ability to come down to watch a
yeah,
game at this new stadium, I mean, it's just going to be an incredible experience. Like, I mean, seeing Messi there, but even if it's one of those off nights for Messi, like just being there at that stadium and I mean, it's quite a show, honestly.
totally. Yeah, it was, my main thought after being there and leaving was that this stadium was made for fans in a really positive way because it's beautiful and to your point, it feels like a European or like a South American stadium that is just meant for soccer. It reminded me a little bit of being at like the Tottenham Stadium in London. It feels like it's totally for soccer, for football, and that was really special. I think to your point, there are probably a couple things that could be, updated or that they'll kind of grow into and when they finish everything. But for the fan, I think they did a magnificent job and going there to watch an Inter Miami game is going to be like a hell of an experience. It's really something special and so I'm really happy for the community and that everyone gets to enjoy it. They say it's like the house Messi built. It feels like that because you see the Leo Messi stand and he obviously we're gonna get into details. It was written in the stars. He was gonna score. The energy and the gratefulness you felt from all the fans and just the atmosphere in general was really special. It was awesome, and I'm glad I got to be there and experience it. I wanna go as a fan next, honestly.
Sorry, I just realized that we have sounds on here, and I like how you said that. So
It
I
scared
set
me.
up an applause. I set up an applause for you. Um,
Thank you. I love that. Well, okay, so anyway, yeah, the stadium, look, really, really great. They did a great job. It's for the fans and that's what matters. So many more amazing moments to come. And yeah, I'm just happy that we'll be there to see a lot of it. But now I think we should talk a little bit about what happened on the field, which was a 2-2 draw against Austin FC. Um, Austin FC scored within the first 5 minutes of the match, so it's kind of funny how it went from, this, like, amazing everyone's like, "This is Inter Miami's time, this is everyone's so happy, La Familia," and then they scored, but really the energy did not go down. They scored in the first 5 minutes, immediately ball was put back in at the halfway line, and everyone was ready to keep going, and then within 3 or 4 minutes of that, obviously, Messi scores, and the whole entire stadium erupted. And it was sick. There's no other way to say it. And of course, just like we expected, Messi scored off of a header, right?
yeah, just as expected. Exactly. That was not on the bingo cards. A Messi header for the first ever Inter Miami goal in their new stadium was
Yep.
not on the bingo cards. I'll say that. I mean, it to see the
Pretty
for
funny.
Messi at his height, for him to be able to get a header, I mean, that's always impressive, honestly, and him putting the team on his back. Look, I mean, it wasn't the game that we wanted exactly. Obviously, we wanted Inter Miami to come out with a win in their inaugural game at the new
Mhm.
stadium. But I think that regardless, they definitely put on a show. It was quite entertaining. It was fun to watch. It had you at the edge of your seat. Fans enjoyed it. But I feel like it's the same old story so far this
Mhm.
season, early season for Inter Miami, where they dominated on possession, right? 66, in this case, 66 to 34% possession for Inter Miami. Their expected goals, 2.94. I mean, you look at that roster that they have, you look at Berterame, and Berterame that actually in this instance didn't start, which
Yeah.
I thought was a surprise. Maybe it's because he's coming back from international duty or whatever the case, or maybe finally Macherano said, you know what, let me give a chance to that lineup that sees Silvetti, Allende, and Messi that
Mhm.
scored so many goals in that postseason. Let me give them a chance to see those guys up front. And I mean, the expected goals are going to be there, new stadium, but again, same old story. 28 total shots. I and you only scored 2 goals. Inter
Yeah.
Miami has an issue up front. Macherano still hasn't figured it out. I saw an interesting fact from Franco
Mhm.
Panizo that, and I had actually hadn't realized. I'm a big stats guy. I try to look up as many stats as I can to be ready for these shows and to to tweet out. But he said that Messi through 5 games has 5 goals, which is very impressive, right? But he has 0
0 assists, yeah.
assists, which is very uncharacteristic of him. He's a passer first.
Yeah.
And we've seen him. I mean, it's not to say I think that it's not to say that he isn't making those passes. I think he is. I think we've been witness of it. But in order
They're
to get
just
an
flying off,
assist,
yeah.
the ball has to go in the back of the net, and it isn't. And I think that that's a really telling story. Is that Is this more on Messi that needs to do better? Is this more on his teammates that need to figure out how to score off of the passes that he's making? Is this more on Mascherano that needs to figure out how to connect Messi with the attackers up front better? I mean, that's something we got to talk about, but it's the same old story. This team, unfortunately, just continues to struggle up front, and they get off to a slow start. I mean, the first goal at the 6-minute mark, like, come on, that's not good, you know. And they're always playing catch up. They never led through 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I agree. It's funny with the Messi's goal, I will say, from the minute Ian Frey had it, like, got the pass and was like, halfway through the box, everyone literally felt like they're gonna score. Messi's gonna score. Like, it just felt in the moment. It was a perfect ball. It was a perfect header, and it was really cool to see. But yeah, look, the rest of the team and the setup is a lot of possession, not a lot of final action from it. And in my opinion, just watching the game, a lot of the time I was thinking Allende wasn't involved at all, whether by design or by the game. You had him in as your quote unquote starting striker, and nothing got to him. And so it was, frustrating. Salvetti had a few opportunities, but I would say it was more so he created them, not that it was like meant like, that it was something that was designed. So it was a little frustrating in that sense. I felt that I think we all feel that the buildup is slow, methodical, and really no excitement or purpose. And then you have a few moments. Yeah, see, exactly, Ash. That's what I'm saying. You have a few moments of brilliance, whether it's Messi, whether it's Suarez scoring, whether it's the DePaul score, all those things. You have those moments of greatness, which gets us these goals and keeps us in the game. But if you're seeing it as a whole package, it doesn't feel worth, like, the play didn't feel worth how great the atmosphere in the stadium was. Towards the end, I think you did think that they were going to score a third goal. There was definitely building and excitement, but overall, you just didn't have faith in the attack or the setup or anyone outside of, like I said, a Messi, to create something special.
yeah, continues to be the problem. I think that Mache really has to figure this team out soon. I mean, that's the reason they're not in Champions Cup right now. And you don't want it to become the reason why they don't win Leagues Cup, they don't win MLS Cup again. I think that they have to go after every single trophy that's left this season, and he has to figure out how to connect his front two to Messi. I thought it was going to look better, honestly, with Allende and Silvetti, and it didn't. It really didn't look good. I thought it was interesting to see how Ayala was in over Yannick Bright. Yannick Bright started on the bench. That game came in at minute 58. Ayala, I think, obviously, because of the lack of playing time, still trying to figure out how to play on this team. My expectations aren't super high right now for him, not because of him maybe not having, I think, the skills to do it. I think he's a good player just because of the fact that he hasn't had a lot of playing time. You can't put it all on him. De Paul, I think, was not the best this game. We were used to seeing him play at an all-star level this season so far early on. I thought he had been playing great, even though he had a fairly good, I think, rating for this game. But I think that there were a lot of times where his passing was just imprecise this game. He gave the ball up a lot. I would like to see that get better from him, and I think it will. It's he's coming back from an injury. Obviously, that bruise that he had on his leg looked pretty painful. So he's coming back from that first game back. I think that he'll probably get his legs under him. He'll look better next one. But Messi continues to be the best player on the field, like you expect him to. It's just the players around him need to step up, and they also need to do good at finding the right spots to be in. And again, that's more than anything, I think, up to Mascherano. But look, they go down early, minute 6. Then Messi, like you were talking about now with the header, responds almost immediately, minute 10, and then it becomes a pretty even game from then on, as far as the back and forth. And you guys talk about in chat, like I agree, and you mentioned it too, Ash. It's too slow, honestly. It's too slow. It's too methodical. And unfortunately, it's not working. I think I'd like to see this team play faster. I think I'd like to see more running in behind the defense and running into spaces where Messi can feed the ball to Allende or to Silvetti in stride. I think that's when Inter Miami has been the most successful, when passes catch their players in stride, as opposed to, you know, a lot of the times Inter Miami recuperates the ball and it's just such a slow, methodical buildup that allows every defense in the league to just set up and close the spaces, play narrow, and not allow Inter Miami to try to filter the ball through. If they played faster, they've got the players to do it. They do. I mean, usually, they definitely have the players to do it. And I think that they'd look a lot better there. But that was the first half, 1-1. In the second half, how did you see that second half? That second half had 2 more goals in that second half.
Yeah. I look, in the moment, it was great when Messi scored. We'll show in a minute kind of a video of the atmosphere in the moment after he scored. It was pretty sick. I had a friend who had really good seats down there, and they were sending me videos where I was in the press box, and it looked amazing. And so that was really good. I think in the second half, it felt that you thought Inter Miami was gonna score again and they were gonna win, and it was like written in the stars. Everything was planned. But then in the second half, again, early in the second half, Austin scores, retakes the lead, and you could tell Inter Miami were frustrated about it. Mascherano makes a few subs at halftime. He takes off Ian Frey. To be fair, I didn't follow up on this, and so there he might be injured. And if I don't know that, I'm sorry. But if he's not, I'm honestly thinking, why are you taking Ian Frey off? I thought he did a great job, and he created that assist for Messi. I think they bring balance when you have the 4 defenders. I Again, unless it was injury or something that I don't know, I don't understand it exactly. I think the good thing I will say is that earlier than he had previously, Mascherano brings on Luis Suarez. I think it was like 67th, 68th minute, something like that, which is good. I think giving Suarez a good 20 to 25 minutes each game, whether or not Bertarame is starting or not, like however it is, I think bringing him on is a good strategy and a good plan. He brings in that excitement, that energy, and he scores, the goal to tie it up, and that is important to have toward the end of matches, when you're trying to catch the other team tired, slow for a minute, trying to get a result, all those things. A player like Luis Suarez is very dangerous in those moments, and so I thought that was good.
I think that there's a troubling trend here also, just going into the second half, where Mascherano always has his back against the wall, and I mean, just throws out every weapon that he has to try to salvage the game, because they go down early, and again, just 1-1 at half, they come out of the half. And almost immediately out of the half, minute 53, Jaden Nelson scores on Inter Miami, and Austin FC go up 2-1, and right away, basically 5 minutes later, Mascherano, David Ayala comes out, Yannick Bright comes in. So basically, spot for spot, fresher legs. But then he takes out a defender, and he takes out Noah Allen, and Berterame comes in. And at that point in time, you think about it, you have one less defender. Now you have Berterame, Silvetti, Allende, and Messi all on the pitch at the same time, which I was saying I never expected those. Not yet, but at that point in time, you have 4, which was already like, okay, we have 4 attackers. We're only down 1 goal. I mean, you would have thought it's maybe that the like Champions League with 10 minutes left, and you need to, there's the Champions League final or something, and it's 1 minute left, and you got to put it all out there. I mean, I think that I like that Mascherano's saying, we need to score. We're going to get this. He's not waiting till the very end. But at times I think that, in this case, they tied, but there are times where I think he just he panics and he exposes this team too much. especially when you have more than 30 minutes left in a game. You're playing with one less defender. You're throwing it all out on the line with taking out Noah Allen and putting in Berterame. And then minute 73, they still haven't scored. Again, he's panicking, and he takes out Velasco Segovia and puts in Luis Suarez. At this point, you have Berterame, Luis Suarez, Tadeo Allende, Matteo Silvetti, and Messi. You have 5 attackers on the pitch. There's basically no defense there at that time. It could have been dangerous. Luckily, you have Luis Suarez that was assisted by Berterame in minute 81, and he comes through and he scores, and that saved taking our first L in our new stadium. But I just think that a lot of these things that Mascherano does, it just shows so much that his strategy and his tactics don't work. They don't work. Everything that he does, it's a change not to manage a game. So, you know, sometimes if you're going to manage a game, you're up 2-1, whatever. There's 10 minutes left. Let's take out a forward and let's put in a defender, or let's put a midfielder in. No, a lot of this is my strategy didn't work. My tactics didn't work. We're down. I'm panicking. I just need to try to score. And I don't think that's healthy for this team. So Mascherano really needs to make this team look good from the very start. And I think that will help him be able to manage the game better in the second half and not be reactionary, but because that's all he is now. So, but at the end of the day, it's 2-2 and we don't get that L. So that was important.
True. No, it's true. It's true. I agree with everything you said. I think that Mascherano, it feels like he's missing on the starting lineup and starting games, and you don't feel comfortable with who's there and what's the plan. And that's definitely something that he needs to fix. What's up, Rio? Okay, this is a comment from Anne that I thought was actually a cool one to show that I wanted to that kind of get us into a conversation, and then we'll do player ratings a little bit, which will help talk about this more. They missed Boosie a lot more than thought. I think it took Barca 2 years to replace him. That's on Mascherano. Anyone with brains, you can't expect Rodrigo de Paul to beat Boosie. I think that's a really interesting point. I think they said on the broadcast on Saturday that Busquets, of course, but that the team was really missing Jordi Alba in these kind of moments. And I think that's true. I think, though, for Busquets, you can't replace one of the greatest ever, but Rodrigo de Paul and Yannick Bright together should make up for some of that, and that they should be planning to do something around that. You still have Messi, you have all these other players. I think there's not an excuse for the team to be at this point kind of not knowing what to do, saying here he doesn't know what he's doing. He kind of throws all forwards and hopes for the best. It feels like he definitely relies on the individual performances and greatnesses of Messi's and others, and there's a lot of back passing. There's a lot of stalling and it feels like no promise to what you're trying to see. A lot of possession with really nothing to make up for it, and that's something that needs to be fixed with the roster you have and the availability of players. And we're about to get to player ratings, and we'll talk about how much of this kind of it's that battle, how much of this is on the coach, how much of this is on the players. I think we rightfully put a lot of the heat on the coach for what he's doing and the lineups, and it feels just like it's not coming together this season. I think there are some players too that aren't. It's two bad things happening at the same time. It's maybe not being put in a position, but regardless, you're not necessarily putting your best foot forward, and I think that has a recipe for what we've been seeing.
So let me put you on the hot seat real quick, okay? I'm going to put you on the hot seat. There are I'm going to give you 3 possible reasons why this team doesn't look at this current moment how we thought and hoped they would look. Because honestly, who I hoped and thought they would look like right now? Like LA. That's why I hope. That's who I thought they'd look like right now. If you look at the supporter shield standings right now, you have who is it? Let me see. 2026. You've got supporter shield standings. Okay, so right now you have LAFC 5 wins, 0 losses. Vancouver, 5 wins, 1 loss. San Jose, 5 wins, 1 loss. Those top 3, that's where I thought Inter Miami would be at this point in time. I thought it'd be one of the top 3, 5-0 or 5-1.
Yeah.
Right now, they are in Supporter Shield standings. They are 11th. 11th with 3 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties. I did not expect that. So I'm going to put you in the hot seat. If I give you 3 reasons why this team isn't where they should be, what would you give more weight to? 1, Mascherano's coaching. 2, the players. No, 2, Messi. Okay, that Messi hasn't done enough. Or 3, the players around Messi haven't done enough. What would you put more weight on out of those 3 as to why Inter Miami isn't where they should be right now and why they aren't in Champions Cup?
Yeah. I mean, I think it does stem from Mascherano and the fact that the setup and the opportunities aren't, giving the players time to create. But I do think there has to be something said that the individual players around Messi are not holding their end of the stick. Like a Bertarame, who has been in good positions or has come in to be the number 9, $15 million, hasn't scored yet. That's a problem. That's not, I don't think that's Mascherano. That's the player not being able to get the moments he needs to. I think Rodrigo de Paul, for example, has been really great this season, and we have talked multiple times about why he's been so great. It's not because of coaching; it's because he's being great, despite of that. So I know you put me on the spot. You said to choose. I would say coaching is kind of 1A, but 1B really is the player performances. I think it's both things can be true at the same time, and it's not Messi. The third choice isn't Messi. No, it's not Messi.
It's
Despite
not. That's what I'm
Messi,
saying.
this is
It's
what's
not.
happening.
It's not
He's
Messi.
being as
It's
great
not
as he can
Messi
be.
at all. I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
Messi has five goals this season, and even though the assists aren't there, you've seen the passes that he makes. I mean, he can't make the pass and score the goal at the same time. I mean, he's Messi. He probably could, but he hasn't done that, and he needs players again like Berterame that you said. So far 6 games played, 3 games started, 2 assists, not a single goal. Only 4 shots on target in 6 games played.
Yeah.
That's not fitting of a $15 million forward DP player. It's not.
Who's replacing Luis Suarez, who at every opportunity he's played has scored, by the way. I know it was his first goal, but more so he's been dangerous, Suarez, right? Like every time he's come in, you've been happy he's been in the game, and you're like, why isn't he getting more? And so that's the worst thing that could happen to Bertarame. But sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement. Suarez has scored. So you talk about same thing with Tadeo Allende. Tadeo Allende, you fought to bring him back. He scored the most goals in MLS postseason history.
Yeah.
Last season for you. He wasn't coming back. They went out and spent money to bring him back.
Yeah.
And in same thing, 6 games played, 3 games started. He has 1 assist and 0 goals. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, those are your 2 guys. I mean, I'm not going to put it on Silvetti. Silvetti is, he can score, but when you talk about this team, who's supposed to be scoring, it's supposed to be Tadeo Allende and Berterame, and neither of those 2 forwards have scored a goal for you this season.
Yeah.
At all.
Problem.
And that's a huge problem, and I think people aren't talking about that as much. And sometimes you look at Messi and you say 0 assists, but 0 assists, and then you look at these 2 guys, and between them both in 6 games they have 7 shots on target between them both, or 6. I forgot what Bertrand was like. I mean, that just doesn't work. 6 shots on target, 0 goals. That's a talking point I think that needs to be said. And there was a comment here I thought was interesting. I wanted to bring up.
And then let's put on the ratings. I want to go through these players. Yeah,
it's the performance form that concerns me more than the stats. And look, I'll agree, because if you look at the conference standings, right, you say, okay, Miami's in 4th. They're basically tied with New York City, Charlotte, that have 3 wins as well, right? Even Chicago behind them has 3 wins. You're like, okay, they're not that far back, but when you look at the product on the field, it doesn't look good, despite them not being that far from first in the East. So, all right, let's look at the player ratings here. Oh,
Yeah.
before we go to the player ratings, sorry, there was one more video. I know you had mentioned that you wanted to watch, which was the goal score.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me bring it up real quick. That just looks so cool, honestly.
So cool, yeah. No, that was worth it. And I mean, yeah, we are going in on the players and the team, and it's true. There has to be change coaching. There has to be improvement. The energy though in the moment of him scoring was something you can't replace and you can't forget it, and it makes it worth it. But yeah, all right. So let's talk about the players. Let's talk about the players. I think there's some scores here that are interesting. Some expected, some not. I feel like we talked about the offense a lot, and we're going to keep talking about it. I think these are two really good points about Allende. That a lot of it is the goals he's supposed to be creating and doing those moments. He isn't creating for himself. I said it like in this past game. I felt that he wasn't available at all. Like I forgot he was in the game, and that's a problem when you're someone who's supposed to be generating goals. Here, but he gets a 7.5, which I think is interesting because I thought he was absent in the game really, and again, I think that's partially by design. That's out of his control, but part of it is in his control, and you want someone like him to be creating moments or finding himself open and available to create the chaos. And so that like Silvetti, who I think has been tasked with a similar role, is maximizing those moments. And obviously, like we're not getting as many goals as we want. But every time Silvetti has the ball, he feels dangerous. He feels exciting. He feels like he could do a spectacular goal or pass or pass by in a second, and that gives him value and enjoyment. And he's bringing what he needs to bring. It's the others around him also that it's falling short.
I think that obviously you look at Messi and you're like, yes, I mean, that score, the highest score on the pitch, it makes sense. But you look at the defense, Falcon and Mikael to me have done well. They have, I mean, 7.7, 7.3. I think consistently they've looked good throughout the season. Mikael to me, I know I've actually had some mention they're not that happy with Mikael. I think he's played very well. I think he's played really good. He's had his moments, but I think for the most part, like he looks like he's really good, and he looks like a player that can play, I think, in Europe. Honestly, I mean, he can play on a Premier League team. He's a really good player, and I think he does a good job of getting back, getting in the right positions. Falcon always in the right spot as well. How many goal line saves have we seen from Falcon? I really like that pairing those two. Look, if Casemiro comes in the summer, Casemiro is either playing next to De Paul, which I most likely, but I don't have any issue with him sliding in there for to play. So at times where if Falcon maybe needs rest or Mikael to match up with one of those two. I mean, Falcon and Casemiro back two would look amazing. Same thing with Mikael, but those two I think have played very well. Noah Allen and Ian Frey here with a 6.4 and a 6.2, saying that they had a poor game. I just think, look, here's what happens a lot, and I kind of want to bring this up. Noah Allen, he's not Jordi Alba, but he's asked to go up at times. And what happens is that every team Inter Miami plays against, play them fast. They want to make sure that they don't give Inter Miami time to set up and to get on defense the same way that Inter Miami allows their opponents to do. So what happens? A lot of time, if you notice, Noah Allen is on offense. Inter Miami turns the ball over quick.
Yeah.
Like they turn the ball over quick, and then the wings from the other team or the forwards right off of the bat just sprint into the open space that Noah Allen typically is in. But because he's involved in the offense, he gets caught either right next to a speedy winger or a speedy attacker, or behind, and he's trying to catch up. And I think that looks bad on him. But most of the time, I think it's not his fault. It's the team that's giving up the ball when Noah Allen is when they're on offense and Noah Allen is trying to help on offense. So
Yeah.
I think Noah Allen obviously started off as left back, but he's looked better at the center back position. But I think he's doing a formidable job of taking Reguilón's spot while he continues to get better. Ian Frey, to me, I thought Facundo Mura was going to be the starter, like the hands down starter, the guy that was going to create an immediate impact. And while he has started games, Ian Frey, to me, at times has looked better than Facundo Mura, in my
Yeah.
opinion. He's
I think
brought
his
more from an
6.2 is
offensive
ridiculous
perspective.
score.
So, I wanted to. Somebody else said something here.
To have the second worst score on that, I think, is a very unjust metric. He did an excellent assist on the goal. He does create, he does dangerous, he makes good runs, all of those things. I think that that's not a true score for Ian Frey. I will say scores that I do more so align with. I
Ayala,
think for
right?
Ayala, yeah, I was just thinking again, really at halftime, I was like, oh, I forgot he was even in. Did not make an impact. Again, we could say partially it is, like systematic and strategic, but he made no noise for me, and I just kept thinking I'd rather have Yannick Bright playing right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the difference. That supposedly in that position, Ayala is going to bring the defense. He's going to do a good job. He's not going to be as strong as Yannick Bright, obviously being a pillar in that midfield and being a destroyer and that sort of thing. Ayala will still bring some, but Ayala's forte over Yannick Bright, why you would have an Ayala over Yannick Bright is because of his ability pushing the ball forward. Even though Yannick Bright, I'll say, has continued to improve in that day. I mean, you can see the confidence at times where he even tries to take on certain players. He'll make some really good passes. But Ayala, just for what you wanted to see out of him in the offense, for him to free up also the ball a bit more, you just didn't see it enough to not have Yannick Bright in there. And at that point, that's where I think Mascherano said, you know what, it's just not worth it. Let me bring Yannick Bright back in. I don't know if you show this one, Ash. Yep, Mikael has been amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
Mikael drops his head a lot. That's his worst trait. Can happen at times. Could
Him
the
and
ball be
Falcon have been
leaving?
an excellent duo.
Yeah. Could the ball be leaving after the World Cup and leave space for an UDP? I don't think that as long as the Messi is here, the ball is here.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Also, the midfield should help Allen over the top if Allen pushes up. That's what they should be doing, and it doesn't always happen. And again, it's because they're also the entire team is caught high up when they give the ball over, and the opposite team just goes out running on the counter. That happens so much to Noah Allen, which is why I don't put it all on him. I think sometimes that score can be a bit unfair for him. I mean, I don't agree with this one here. Ian Frey is bad. We just make excuses for him because he's an academy kid.
I don't
I don't
agree
think.
with
I
that.
mean, I disagree with that.
Fair to have your opinion, but I don't agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one. Segovia should be in the midfield. He is in the midfield. He just attacks through the middle a lot. He's typically right in front of Ayala and the Paul.
I think they mean also how it's lined up here. Like it makes it seem like he's a winger when he's not in. I mean, looking at this, it just makes me want to say, at the cost of a Segovia, which would be, it's really not his fault, or even on Allende, I would say you put Silvetti on the wing, and you have either a Bertarame or Suarez or someone like that start, and you have them there to create things, and so Messi isn't having to play 3 different positions at once. Like this, have the players in the position they're supposed to be in and let him be more of a generator than the one who has to kind of create and move around. And I mean, I'm watching the second half and I'm saying, like, Messi's your right winger right now. Like he was fully on the right side for like most of the second half. And I'm just like, he needs to be in the middle. You need to be in the middle. You need to be creating and making it dangerous for everyone else. And he did it because he had to. There was nowhere else to push the ball or to get space and to try and create and to do anything. He couldn't get it. So it was just, it was hard to watch.
Look, I'm going to show you something. Do you see the heat map right here?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Look, this is Messi's heat map. If you notice, too, a lot of times, can you also see my pointer?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, notice how there's this spot right here. Really often, because the ball's not getting to him, he comes down and hovers around this area right here. And have you noticed that? He goes down in the midfield right here and he waits to grab the ball. And um, I think that that's something that you don't want as often. You want Messi to receive the ball a little higher up. And he does that because, somebody mentioned it. Busquets isn't here and he's not, I just messed this up here, but,
Sorry, I did too, I think.
yeah, but, he's not receiving the ball up front and he doesn't have a Busquets to be able to do that. So, unfortunately, he's having to come down a little more than usual.
Yeah. I do think,
Yeah.
there we go. Like, DePaul, I think it wasn't his best game, but it's still in the green. It's still better than most. St. Clair, honestly, I thought he had 2 or 3 really good saves. The goals were situations that really was nothing he could do. And he got, like I said, a couple good saves, a couple where he, was playing out of his goal enough to be able to stop something before it starts. I think obviously the 2 goals, but it doesn't feel like a good reflection on who was really good and who wasn't. I think that there are other players that have created more danger.
Yeah, he had, according to the statistics, he had 1 save, 2, obviously the 2 goals conceded.
I thought he had more than 1 save.
He had
Felt felt like it
he
did.
had he had 1 save inside the box, and then he had 1 clearance and 11 recoveries. He acted twice as a sweeper, which is funny. But
Look at that. Ayala has 35 passes in 60 minutes, which is not good. Agreed. I want to know how many passes the ball has in 60 minutes. I'm going to look that up because it's going to be a crazy difference. Or then Yannick Bright, because maybe you're not supposed to be as much as DePaul, but 35 passes is nothing. You have no, you're not creating anything in the game. You're not creating any worries. And Segovia, I felt similarly where it didn't feel like he was, creating enough where it was warranting the space and the position. And I do see here Messi frequently plays for right wing on Argentina. Yes, but it's different. Like, you have other players who are very dangerous and likely to score, like a Julian Alvarez or something like that. It's he plays on the right wing because he can create from there, and there's a lot of players operating, but also he can drift in when he has to. It's there's huge differences in my opinion. This is interesting. Give me Berthe and Suarez both start next game. We play slow as hell anyway. Yeah, that's a good point. The teams that are scoring on us are mostly counterattacks, right? Or immediate. We have the lion's share of possession, but it is going slowly. And if you're going to go and stay slow, I agree. Bring on Suarez for longer. Bring on Berthe. Bring on people who are going to take the moments that they get in the box and try and score, specifically Suarez. So if you're going to be slow, then be slow. The point of getting the changes that they made over this offseason was to bring in speed and agility.
Yeah, Segovia naturally drifts centrally, so he doesn't help Alan on the left, so it's useless to line up like that. Yeah, Segovia is usually, if you notice, between the center forwards. He'll help and he'll attack through the middle. But either way, I mean, I don't think he'd do any. He doesn't play on that left. Again, despite how this shows the lineup, he doesn't really play on the left. He plays more central. But even if you think about it, like, you have Ian Frey that usually will play off of somebody on that right side, whether it be Messi or whether it be Allende. Reality, Noah Allen has nobody to play off of on that left side. There's no overlapping. There's whether that's just naturally because of the fact that Selvetti, I mean, tends to move centrally at times, also with Segovia, and Noah Allen is just left out there by himself. I don't know. I think part of it too is just coaching and tactics. He's just not using Noah Allen dynamically with anybody else to make the runs. I mean, how often did you see with, I'm not going to say Noah Allen and Jordi Alba are the same in any way, but how many times did you actually see the actions and the movements that Jordi Alba would have where he would associate himself with somebody? Pass out to Jordi Alba, usually Messi, make the run into the middle, and Jordi Alba already knew, I'm going to put the ball right back into the middle so Messi can finish it. We really haven't seen that with anybody. Obviously, I know it's Jordi Alba, but that doesn't mean that play can't be made by other players. It's not going to look as good, and it's not going to be maybe as precise. But those type of dynamic plays, you just don't see that right now this season. And I think that's where, at least from my perspective, I'd like to look at this team offensively and say, okay, I understand what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I
Right.
see the movement. I see that he's trying to combine with him. He's overlapping him. He passes the ball, then makes a run. I don't see a lot of things that I can put my finger on and say, okay, I see what Macherano's trying to do with this offense, other than when he puts in Berterame and Suarez with Allende and with Messi and with Silvetti all on the pitch at the same time, then I'm like, okay, I see what he's doing there. He's scared. There's a
Right.
difference. I'd like to see that a little bit differently.
Agreed. I agree. It's been a really good discussion though about it, and we'll just kind of continue to see. Which leads me to the final topic of the show, which has been a great show. Obviously, talking about the stadium, talking about the game, has been really good. What's next? Well, I'm trying to show it, but I don't know how to get out of this screen, so you have to do it. There we go. Okay. Oh wait, and well, I guess there we go.
I got it.
There we go.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, thank you. Look, the Inter Miami get to have another home game in New Stadium next week against or this Saturday, right? Rather against New York Red Bulls, who I don't know if you saw Emil Forsberg free kick that he got in their game. It was
Yes,
pretty sick.
incredible.
Yeah, it's important, the second game in the stadium. I think obviously the first one had so much pent up excitement and preparation and is the stadium going to be ready, this, that, and the other. First home game of the season, but that kind of, I think, brushes off a little, and it becomes like, okay, how can you really like show dominance, win, and score, right? And this will be, I think, a big and important test in order to keep getting toward that.
I think that it's going to be important 100% for this team to look good in attack, as we just spent 15 minutes talking about the attack. I think that that's what you need to see from this team. Finally look good in attack. This is not going to be an easy game by any means. I think that even though it may be deceiving to see the New York Red Bulls in 7th place right now, but they are tied with Inter Miami. Basically, they both have three wins. I mean, it's not a team that's it's deceiving. It's so close right now between 2nd and 7th place in the East right now. They all have three wins. So I think it won't be a tough, an easy game. I think it may be a tough game, especially you talk about the players that New York Red Bulls have. You mentioned the insane Emil Forsberg free kick. I mean, he's playing good. Then you talk about, I don't know if you guys have heard about Julian Hall. Have you guys heard about the 18-year-old Julian Hall? I mean, that kid is playing insane. He's 18 years old. 18 years old, and he has become the youngest MLS player in history to score 5 or more goals in his first 6 matches. He's scoring an insane amount of goals. That kid's on fire. I think it'll be fun to see him play against Inter Miami, how he's going to match up with Rodrigo de Paul, with our back, how Mikael and Falcon are going to match up. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough game for Inter Miami, not only from the attacking side, where they're going to have to figure out how to get on pace there, but again, when you have a team that's looking good on attack, like the Red Bulls are, I think it's going to be important. So far they have 9 goals so far this season, and they've had 13 goals scored on them. So from an attacking end, like you look.
Yeah, Inter Miami,
that's the thing.
On that. Yeah,
13 goals. I mean, that's a team that Inter Miami, if they don't look good against the Red Bulls offensively, I mean, if you haven't already sounded the alarms, it's going to be time to sound the alarms, because this is a team that gets scored on. I mean, one of the most scored on teams in the East. I think only Orlando City. Jeez, Orlando City, 23 goals against. My goodness, I didn't realize that was that bad.
Yeah.
Only Cincinnati with 15, Orlando with 23 have more goals scored on them than the New York Red Bulls. So Inter Miami has to go in there and I mean, they have to look good on attack. The defense is going to be the interesting part, I think, in this one.
Agreed. It'll be interesting, and I'm hopeful that we see some more attack. And this is a game where you have the opportunity to reestablish that attack and get something going. But wow, okay, it's almost been an hour. This has been a great show, a really great interactive show. We knew it would be after such an important weekend with the stadium opening. really cool, really special. And the first of many, hopefully, great moments we're gonna have and being there and we're gonna go Gian together. I know you're gonna go check it out. It's exciting. It's still an exciting time to be an Inter Miami fan. Exciting to see how these next few months shape up.
It is. It is. Is our next game that's here at home again? Yeah, which is
Yeah,
nice too if you think about it, just because of the fact that
yeah,
we hadn't played at home. Obviously, the
all
Champions Cup
season, yeah.
game, but
Right.
as far as league play, we hadn't played at home until now, and I think that that's something that we have to think about moving forward as well. Is the team hasn't looked good, 100%. They haven't looked the best on attack. We mentioned that they they've left you wanting more, but we have to remember that for the most part, they've been playing away from home. And I think that, at times you may kind of give that a bit of merit, right? And say, okay, they haven't looked that good. At least they have 3 wins playing away from home. But what is this team going to look like now that they're finally playing at home, right?
Yeah.
We tied 2-2 right now. Let's see what the next run of games at home actually look like to get a full understanding of what this team looks like. Maybe they just needed to settle down. No more traveling right now. Right now, you're just going to play at home, feel good, get your feet under you, to get more experience in this new stadium of yours that is insanely cool and amazing, and with your home crowd. I'm hoping here that we really see a change in this team. Finally being at home, looking good. And yeah, because how many more games do we have, or what's our schedule look like for home? Is it the next few games? Let me see.
Definitely next week. I think Colorado is away. But then we have another home game.
Yeah, Red Bulls, right? So Colorado is going to be. Where the hell is Colorado? Man, I can't even see. I'm trying to figure out where the heck these guys are playing. MLS. Let's see. Okay. Well, probably should have had that ready.
That's fine. No worries. We know at least 2 of the next 3 are at new stadium, so that's important. But yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and again participating. It was super fun. Make sure you are following us at Messi Co on Twitter /X. That was really one of the reasons why we get the opportunities we do, and then I got the opportunity to go and see such an amazing moment in person. There you go. 1 home, 2 away, then 2 home. Yeah. So 3 of the next 5 games are going to be here at New Stadium, and that's important. They need to kind of jump from it.
Your hope is the last thing you lose, guys. Your hope is the last thing you lose. I know you guys are going through it, because I'm here hopeful that things are going to change with this team, but that's the last thing you lose. You always got to have hope. Always got to have hope, no matter how. Look, and at the end of the day, we can't act like I mean, it's just dark times and it's all grim either. I mean, guys, we're not at the bottom of the table, and we have Messi on the team. Like, come on now, like, you can't, your hope comes from somewhere. You may have Mascherano on here, but you have Messi.
Yeah, Messi, exactly, and that's what the show is. That's what our show is.
And you have 90-year-old Suarez that's still scoring goals off of the bench. Like, guys, it's not over. This is the beginning of the season. We're going to be okay. I promise you. We will be good. And look, I have faith that Mascherano is going to have an epiphany. He's going to have a dream that an angel comes to him in his dream and tells him, this is how you need to play. And I promise you, things are going to be good, guys. We're doing good. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Promise.
Agreed. Okay. So last thing, we're getting good chat. So I do want to say, here's the last question. Do you think we're going to win a trophy this year? Yes.
Dude, we better.
I said yes.
We better win a trophy.
We will.
Look, I'm telling you, this team, look, here's what I think they need to do. They need to win Leagues Cup, and they need to win MLS Cup. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If they don't win those 2, if you do not win those 2, Mascherano's not here next season. I guarantee it. I give you my word that if they don't win those 2, they're out, because Champions Cup was such a hit on this team. I know that Jorge Mas is absolutely pissed about it. He's not going to say it. He's going to have the back of his coach. He's going to say it. But I know that after they got bounced from MLS Cup, Can you see? Okay, guys, I'm okay. Don't worry. My camera went off, but I'm still here, guys. I did not get kidnapped. Don't worry.
That's okay. Perfect time for us to close it
Perfect
out.
time to us to close it out, guys. We're gonna be fine.
We're gonna be fine. Here's a perfect way to end it. Messi scoring a hat trick from his walker. Look, we'll take it. That's why we have a lot of things to look forward to, and I'll take that any day of the week. So
Here,
thank
guys.
you. There you go. Perfect. Well, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you're following us. Exciting times for Inter Miami, and it'll continue to be that way. So for this episode of Messi Co, I'm Ashley. That is Gian, and we will see you next time.
See you guys. Thank you.